24 karat, it's gonna be 25,000. He had no idea they were stolen. I'm spending money so fast, I'm not even really keeping track of what I'm making. A lot of my earlier crimes were just epic like failures. I would say they're epic failures because I made no money.
Right.
But I took a very high risk. And when I was in the county, a lot of times I was seeing people getting sentenced 10 to 20 years for armed robbery. So I seen early on that selling drugs and doing robberies and burglaries and other things wasn't something that I was good at. So what I ended up doing is I taught myself pretty much how to do, different types of fraud, different types of scams. Mostly credit card fraud, identity theft, things of that nature. And honest to God truth, I just started like mailboxes, like hidden mailboxes. That's how I really kind of like got information that could make identity theft. I started hitting.
How did you know how to do it though? Did you talk to some people that were doing it?
No, I just taught myself. Like honestly, I started hitting mailboxes, and a lot of times, whatever information I can get out your mailbox, I'm gonna try to utilize it. Like I'm a person that, for one, I have a photographic memory, so I very good with numbers. Once I see something one time, I lock it in. So I got a lot of information from mailboxes of things of that nature, and I would call in, play that I was actually impersonate the person that I was information I was using, and I would usually reorganize their whole account. I would reorganize their whole account to whereas all their mail and any information that had regards to their account was being sent to wherever I wanted to send to. And once I would get their card, their replacement card, I would open up a whole new account with their information. And I would just basically, it was basically identity theft. It was a small crime, but I basically transitioned from doing the stuff as far as like armed robberies, dealing with drugs, into fraud because I seen that I wasn't good at basically doing these things in the streets or illegally. So let me try this. But I really tried it, just nobody taught me. I just tried it. Like, let me try to see if I can be good at this. And I tried it. I just, I got the information. I started just doing small things, buying small things, clothes of that nature, jewelry, little small things basically that I was young. So I'm just buying, just things just to be like, wear or have fun or anything I could utilize just to be, say I did something.
Yeah.
So I caught a case for that. I was staying with my aunt at the time. They came in and kicked the door in because I wouldn't come to the door. They came to the door in plain clothes. A lot of times you see plain clothes officers, you're like, I'm not answering the door. Like, you got to come in here and get me. And they exactly what they did. They kicked the door down, ran in, and I had some mail and stuff that was placed around the house when I was staying with my aunt. They found that I had 14 counts of identity theft. So I ended up doing 32 months altogether. This is in the county, in the state. That was, like I say, my introduction as far as into crime and things of that nature. But I say I learned a lot during that time where I was incarcerated. I met a lot of people. I know you've been incarcerated before, so you meet a lot of people while you're locked up.
Of course.
Right.
And they're constantly coming and going, coming and going.
Right. And the thing about it is, it's like, you might get somebody's information, right? Like, hey man, stay in touch with me. I'm around this way, or I do this. So I met a guy when I was incarcerated, right? And I got his information. We were cool. This is when I was in the county. And I was in my, I was thinking to myself, like, I'll probably never do it again. But I got his information.
Yeah.
So when I got out from doing those 3 years, I seen him. I was at like a festival, like downtown in Atlanta. So I seen him. He's like, "What's up, bro? Like, long time no see. Like, take my number down, bro. You need to call me. Like, it's important. I need you to call me. Like hit me up. Or like, we need to talk." So I'm like, all right. So I got his number, and a lot of times I do this. I'm gonna have him doing this. I'll put a number in my phone, but I won't save it. It'll be in my call log, but after a certain amount of time, it'll get erased because I never saved it. So that's kind of what I did that day. I dialed his number in my call log, but I never actually locked his number in. Mm-hmm. So I say that's why I say everything it was like just like fate in a sense, because I say no less than probably like 3 weeks later, I see him again. I see him again at the grocery store. And like, he like, "Bro, why you didn't call me?" I'm like, "Bro, I ain't gonna lie to you. I forgot to save your number." I was like, "Let me get your number again." He's like, "Bro, you need to hit me. Like, we need to talk." So I'm like, all right. So
he's got something going on.
He got something going on.
He can work you into it.
So I finally hit him, and I'm like, "What's going on?" He's like, "Well, listen, I got the credit card information if you need it." So I'm like, okay. I'm like, so he's basically he's selling it. So he has credit card information, basically, info that you could utilize it for whatever you want to do. So he's selling it to me. I started doing business with him. So I started doing business with me and my cousin. We're basically, buying his information from him, doing, whatever we see fit with it. I mean, we was doing all types of things with it, honestly, like in-store pickups, whatever, ordering stuff online. So it's just credit card information. Where I'm from, we call it punchies. So it's punchies. Basically, you can punch this information in, whether you can punch it in online or you can punch it in over the phone. It's all somebody's credit card information.
Where do you order? If you order a bunch of stuff,
Right.
you order $200 worth of stuff. Where do you
Right.
just have it mailed to a house near you, or
I would do it multiple ways. I would do in-store pickups. I would send it to what we call bandos. That's basically like places like abandoned house. But I would be there when the actual FedEx driver or UPS driver would be there to drop it off. So, during this time, that's what we were doing. I would do in-store pickups and, place my name as the, receiver or the person, the recipient to go pick it up. Or I would just say, mail it to the abandoned house.
and you're sitting there in your car, he pulls up, you get out, start to walk into the house like you live there. Oh, is that for, I'll take it.
Right. So like, and that's kind of like later on you'll see why like the stuff that I learned early on, I just basically transitioned into bigger things. But I'll explain it to you later on as far as like the abandos, what we call abandoned houses or things of that nature. So basically, I'm using the credit card information. I'm doing good business with him. Like I'm buying info probably like 2 to 3 times a week. He's selling me basically one piece of information, 2 or 3 pieces of information. I'm buying a lot of it per week.
What are you getting with the information? Is it just stuff like, is it stuff to live, or are you buying stuff that you can resell?
So this is what we were doing at first. Me and my cousin, he knew a guy that owned a construction company. So he knew a guy that owned a construction company. So the construction company owner basically telling us, listen, whatever you get from Home Depot or Lowe's, I'll give you half off. So he's placing orders with us. I'm doing in-store pickups. So I'm doing in-store pickups. I'm basically going inside at Home Depot, Lowe's, and picking up whatever that he places in his order. He's giving us half off. He's cashing us out.
I mean, is this like DeWalt drills or
he's
is
getting anything? It could be faucets.
So he didn't care because he could go back and return it? Is that
he has a construction company. He's getting John Deere riding lawnmowers and refrigerators.
These are big pieces. Okay,
Yeah. So he's getting anything, like whatever he puts in that order, I'm finding it and I'm going and picking it up in the store. You know what I'm
so he's making orders.
Right.
I thought you were saying anything.
No. He's
not anything in the store. You're saying he's saying, I need a John Deere lawnmower. I need 2 DeWalt drills. I need and then you're making an attempt to get all of it.
Right. So that's basically like, what I started doing as far as with the information that he was giving me. So as I continue doing business with, with a guy that made in prison, you know what I'm saying? He basically came to me one day. He's like, listen, do you want to make some real money? Like, I see that what you're doing, I'm pretty sure you're making a little bit of money. And one day he pretty much asked me for an order. He's like, I know you're doing a lot of stuff for Home Depot and Lowe's. Listen, I need you to get me something. So he had just got a new apartment. He's like, I need some stuff from my new apartment. Can you get it for me? I said, yeah. So I do it. And basically, it kind of like established a different level of trust with him because he had been, I did it for him. I did it for free. I mean, I used the information he gave me, but it kind of like it strengthened our relationship. So he's like, listen, do you want to make some real money? Do you want to make some real money? Because I see what you're doing, but he's like, that's petty in a sense. Like, if you want to make some real money, I said, yeah. He said, well, listen, I'm going to introduce you to something that's a little bit different, but I'm going to show you how to do it, and I just want to cut from the proceeds of you doing it. So I said, okay. So what we started doing is there's a lot of people not familiar with this, but it's dental gold. So he worked for a guy that actually made like dental gold, like grills and stuff of that nature. Mm-hmm. And in the dental industry, they use gold, to make caps, fillings, whatever it may be. And he knew how to get this gold basically from the distributors and manufacturers, and he knew how to order it basically without any credit card or anything. So basically what it is gold, and it comes in ingots. Ingots is like little grains, right? So, all right, let's do the math on this right quick. So 28 grams is 1 ounce. So it'd be like these little small grains, little small pellets, be 28 of those. And it'd be mostly majority pure gold, like 18 to 24 karat.
Okay.
So I'm getting ounces at a time. Now, mind you, during this time, this is probably like at the time frame of like, 2013, 14, 15 ounce. An ounce of gold is like $1,000.
Okay.
So I'm getting 4, 5, 6 ounces at a time. And basically I'm ordering it, and we have dental labs that order this gold. So these dental labs that are ordering this gold, we basically impersonate that we're these dental labs. And we order from their distributors and manufacturers that they place these orders for this gold.
And there's not a lot of security because nobody. This is not like this is not a crime that's on the radar.
No, it's not. And basically, if you're familiar with business, and a lot of business owners know, you're familiar with the transaction called a net 30 or net 30 account. So a net 30 account basically allows you to order stuff. It's almost like financing you have 30 days to pay it back.
Right.
So a lot of these people these dental labs that I'm ordering these from these manufacturers or this gold have a net 30 account set up with these particular manufacturers, distributors. So I will order these ounces of a gold, and I would get them sent. Like a lot of times I would call the distributor manufacturer, I would add an address to their existing account, and it would be an abandoned apartment or abandoned house. Or I would call and place an order, and with FedEx or UPS, I would call them and reroute the actual package that it was originally going to and send it to where I want to send to. And I would be there at the time where it would be dropped off. So that's what I was doing, like I say, during the time of like when I transitioned from basically doing the credit card fraud to doing the gold.
Going online without using ExpressVPN is like going to the bathroom without locking the door. Even if you think you have nothing to hide, why give a random creep a chance to invade your privacy? In the US, your internet service provider knows every single website you visit, and they can legally sell that information to advertisers. ExpressVPN reroutes 100% of your traffic through secured, encrypted servers so they can't spy on you. Here's why I like ExpressVPN. It hides your IP address so third parties can't track you. It works on all devices, phones, laptops, tablets, you name it. And it's dead simple. Open the app, tap one button, and you're protected. I use ExpressVPN every time I go on a hotel or airport Wi-Fi. Those networks are wide open, and it's important for me to keep my private stuff secure. Once somebody gets into your personal stuff, it's hard to undo. That's why I lock mine down online. Secure your online data today by visiting expressvpn.com/ITC. That's expressvpn.com/ITC to find out how you can get up to 4 extra months free. expressvpn.com/ITC.
And when I was doing the gold, it was a little bit more money being made. Like I said, I'll probably make anywhere from $4,000 to $5,000, maybe $6,000 a day, because I would order like anywhere from 4 to 6 ounces, and it would come overnight. Like I could call on Monday morning. If I call before like 4 o'clock p.m., let's say Eastern time, it'll be there the next day. Early a.m. delivery, basically by 10:30 a.m. It'll
You just
come.
have to hang out in your.
I had to hang out in my car.
Yeah.
And that ended up really being my downfall because of the simple fact that one day it was a sting operation and they were waiting on me. And the UPS driver basically ID'd me. But I had a funny feeling that particular day. I was sitting in front of the apartment. It was sitting in front of the house. I was parked in front of the house. And when I was sitting in front of the house, I seen an unmarked car pull into the neighborhood. Now, like I say, I've been in prison before. I already did like 32 months. I'm kind of familiar with the judicial system and how, operations and things that work. So when I seen the unmarked car, reason why I knew it was an unmarked car, I see the tag. It has GOVT on the tag. So automatically, I know this is a government issue vehicle because I see the tag. So I'm parked like to the side of the house. Automatically, when I see the car come into the neighborhood, I say, I need to go because this doesn't feel right. So I pull off, and immediately as I pull off, like I get flipped coming out the neighborhood. This is not even an unmarked car. This is an actual real police patrol car. So he pulls me over. So when he pulls me over, he comes to the side of the window. I'm like, hey, what's going on? Like, what am I getting pulled over for? Immediately, like, hold on, just wait right here. So they asked me to step out the car. As I'm stepping out the car, the UPS driver is coming down the street. When he comes down the street, he passes by me. I hear him on the radio. He's like, yeah, that's him. Like, he ID'd me.
Because
So
he dropped.
off to me previously before.
Okay.
So he's basically letting the police know, like, I've seen him before. I've dropped off to him before. This is the guy that I've basically been, dealing with these last couple of days. So I got incarcerated for that. So when I got incarcerated for that, I ended up, I hired an attorney. Could have been a lot worse, but I ended up doing 26 months for that particular crime.
What was the dollar amount? And this is state.
Yeah, this is state.
And what was the dollar amount they hit you with?
It was close to 100,000.
Okay.
And it was, like I say, it was pretty much gold. Like I say, a lot of people, if they're familiar with, like I say, dental gold or dental labs or dentists, they're familiar with the actual gold that I'm referring to.
Yeah.
But I end up getting serving 26 months on that particular sentence. And when I came home, I just had a son. While I was incarcerated, I missed the birth of my son, due to me being incarcerated. This is, like I said, this during the time this is like 2013. So I come home, it's 2015. So 2015, I came home, and basically I was staying with my mom, my son's mother. We were all staying with one mom under one roof. And
how old are you at this point?
at this time, I'm probably like mid-20s.
Okay.
During this time. I come home, I basically made up in my mind, like, I'm going to start all the way over. Like, I done been in prison twice. I did 3 years. I go do 2 years. I don't want to, like, go back to prison anymore. Mm-hmm. So when I come home, my plug, or the guy that put me on to the actual credit card information, that introduced me to the gold, he's like, listen, I'm glad you home. But it's crazy because as soon as I come home, he gives me a stack of like a phone book, probably a paper, and he's like, here, this is yours. It's all credit card information. Mm-hmm. So I'm looking at him like, listen, I want you to get you.
He's helping you out.
Yeah.
I want you a favor.
Yeah, he's like, you kept it solid. I want you to get back on your feet. You don't owe me anything. He said, when you get back on your feet, like, throw me something, but this is you. So I'm like, all right, you know what I'm saying? But it's like, what, you know what I'm saying? Like, I had no intentions of doing anything of that nature, like, ever again. I really wanted to come home, get a job. This is my firstborn son. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? At the time, he's probably like 2 years old. So I'm like, I really don't want to get back into the streets. I really don't want to get back into that lifestyle. But he comes home, like I said, he just gives me like, it's literally like a Kroger grocery bag full of papers. It took me probably like 2 weeks to just basically like break everything down, find out what the limits on each card was. And basically, before I touch anything, I always want to figure out where I stand with this particular information. Mm-hmm. Figure out, when the bill is due, what's the credit limit, like everything. The billing, I want to make sure everything lined up before I touch anything. So he gave me information. So for probably like a week or two, it took me to, like I say, to get everything broken down. I took my notes on everything. I started, dealing with it for the most part after those 2 weeks. And I'm fresh out of prison, so I'm really trying to get, my wardrobe together. I'm trying to basically get back on my feet. And I'm using it to do different things or whatnot. And I'm making a little bit of money off of it, but it's helpful because at the time I don't have a job. So the gold was always profitable to me. So one day I called one of the gold distributors and manufacturers. I said, I want to see if I could, still, possibly accomplish this. So I called one of the distributors, right? And I'm on the, it's an automated system, on the phone with them. And I hear them say, hey, for the diamond department, press 5. The diamond department, I'm like, ain't no way they got diamonds. So I'm thinking in my head, like, let me just try my luck. So I press 5. So they transfer me to the customer service representative. Once they transfer me to the customer service representative, she's like, how can I help you? So I give them the information, one of the companies. I'm Googling on my phone. I just throw out a company, like, that I possibly think that, they possibly have relations with, So she's like, okay, how can I help you? I got your account pulled up. this is a jewelry store. And like I say, in the minute of me, a matter of probably 30 seconds, it transpired for me to just let me look up a jewelry store in my area.
Right.
And possibly, they might possibly have an account with these people. So maybe they can pull it up because, like I say, this is one of their distributors, one of their manufacturers that distribute, diamonds to this particular jewelry store. So she's like, hey, I got your account pulled up. How can I help you? So I'm like, well, hey, I'm looking for, I just throw something out there, like a 2-carat diamond round, this particular, this particular thing. And she's like, okay, well, this is what we have. She gave me some options. I said, well, give me that one. So in my mind,
you're just trying to see if this will even work.
I'm just trying it, right. And it's really, like I say, at the end of the day, I was really calling it for gold.
Yeah.
But when I heard on the automated system that they actually had diamonds, I'm like, let me try it. So I placed the order. Now, mind you, like I told you before, like how I transitioned from learning from different things. When I placed the order, she gives me the FedEx tracking number. I told you, like I said, a lot of times before with with the gold, I would reroute packages to an abandoned apartment, to an abandoned house.
If you're a homeowner in America, you need to listen to this. The FBI has been warning about a type of real estate fraud on the rise called title theft, and your equity is the target. Here's how it works. Criminals forge your signature on a single document, use a fake notary stamp, and file it with the county. And just like that, on record, they own your home. Using your ownership, they can take out loans against your equity or even sell your property. And you won't know about it until foreclosure or collections start showing up in the mail. That's why I've partnered with Home Title Lock, so you can protect your equity and find out today if you've already been a victim. Use my promo code MATT at HometitleLock.com, and you'll get a free title history report and a free trial of their $1 million triple lock protection. That's 24/7 monitoring of your title's records, urgent alerts to any changes, and if fraud occurs, their US-based restoration team will spend up to $1 million to fix it. Don't be a victim. Protect your equity today. Once again, that's HometitleLock.com, promo code MATT, or use the link below.
Wherever that I could get my hands on it. Because when they send stuff, a package or things of that nature, anything, when they send anything, they're sending it to the actual address that's on file for that company. But when they send off the package for that company, I'm calling FedEx or UPS with that tracking number, and I'm calling UPS or FedEx and I'm rerouting that. So I would call FedEx and UPS and say, hey, this is such and such calling from such and such jewelers. I'm not going to be at my establishment or my business today. So can I reroute the package to this particular address? Let's say, sure, where's the address that you need it sent to? So I would reroute it to that particular address. And this is an overnight package because a lot of times I would never deal with anything that's going to have a delay on it because a company would, a lot of times they get emails, they get notifications saying, hey, you have a package on the way. So I always want to do for early AM delivery by 10:30. Because most jewelry stores and most of these places open up at 10. I need the package to me by 10:30 because I don't want them to log in or see anything, information saying they have a package on the way that they did not authorize or they did not, order.
Right. Or so, do they get the notification that your package has been rerouted?
No, they have no clue that this is coming.
Nice.
So when it comes the next day, like I say, I order the package. It's like I say, at this particular time, it's like a 2-carat diamond. So I'll order it. And I, honest to God truth, I rerouted to a house that's for sale. All right. So I rerouted it to me. I had my son with me. I never forget. I had my son with me. At the time,
horrible.
I had my son with me. He was probably like 2 going on 3 years old. But during the day, I wasn't working. My son's mother would go to work, and I would be at home with my son all day. You know what I'm saying? I've been away from my son for like 2 years. So basically, I told her, we're not doing daycare. Like, I'm staying at home with my son. I'm going to watch him every day. You go to work. I'll take care of him. So I never thought a package was going to actually come. So when it came, I grabbed my son. He's probably 2, 3 years old. Get his bag together, put him in the back seat, put him in his car seat. I ride off. So the package ends up getting delivered before I can get to the house. So in my mind, I'm like, it's no possible way that they just dropped a diamond off at an abandoned, but the driver, he doesn't know.
He has no idea what's in it.
So I'll drive by the house. I don't see it at first. Like, I'm looking at the house. I'm looking, I ride by it. I said, I don't see it. So I get out, I park, I get out the car. It's literally sitting on the first step while you going up to the actual like little patio area.
Mm-hmm.
It's like in a little small little envelope. I grab it, come back to the car, open it. It's like a 2.5 carat diamond, like sitting right here. Solitaire diamonds. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So I grab it. I call my brother at the time. I say, hey, where you at? So he's like, I'm at home. Like, listen, I got to come to you. I got to show you something. Like, I'm coming to your house right now. He's like, all right, come on. I'm at the house. So I get over there, go to the house. I got my son with me. I show it to him. He was like, bro, how did you get this? I said, honestly, it was like what we call, like I say in the streets, like it was a humbug. Like, I had no idea that this was going to actually work, but it actually did. But prior to me doing other stuff, I knew that once it was ordered, I could get it into my hands. So like I say, I got the diamond. I told him, listen, I told my brother, I said, I need help actually selling this because I don't know what to sell it to. I knew at the time when I was selling the gold, I had a cash out that somebody was paying for the gold. It was a jeweler as well, but I didn't think I could go to him with actual diamonds. You know what I'm saying? Because like I said, a lot of jewelers, they would take the gold and they would melt it down and make whatever they want with it. But this is the actual diamond we're talking about. So I reached out to a couple of associates and friends of mine at the time. I said, listen, I'll give you a cut. I just need to find a buyer. I got this diamond. If you can find a buyer, I will give you a cut of it. So they're like, okay. It took them probably by like maybe a week or so, and they found the buyer. So I give them the diamond. They go basically make the sale for the diamond. While they're there,
What's a 2.5 carat diamond go for?
on the low end, probably $10,000.
Okay.
So when I actually sold it, while I never would be there, anytime a transaction is going on, I would never put my face on the scene.
Mm-hmm.
So while one of my associates, while he was there, the buyer basically told him, like, listen, this diamond is nice, but this is what I'm actually looking for. I'm looking for, with diamonds is they call it the 3 C's. It's cut, clarity, and color. So when it comes to diamonds, like any jeweler will tell you that those 3 C's that they make up, they can bring your high price range from high to low, depending on the color, depending on the clarity, depending on the cut. So he basically told me what type of cut he was looking for, which is most jewelers want to go for round cut because that's just, the ideal cut that most people want. They want high color, meaning like colors are based off the alphabet. So it's A, B, C, D, E, F. So they want something higher in the alphabet, not nothing on the back end, which is like S, T, U, V. They want something on the high end, A, B, C, D, somewhere around that range. And as far as like clarity, VS1, VS2, VVS, it goes all the way to it's a chart.
Right.
So he basically said, I only want something VS1 or VS2 and up. And I was like, okay, I can do that. So he said, if you give me this, if y'all can bring me these type of diamonds, like we can continue to do business. He gave me a price range. Basically, like 3 carats, I'm gonna give you 15,000. 4 carats, I'm gonna give you 20,000. Anything bigger than the 4 carat is gonna be 25,000 or 30,000 or more. You know what I'm saying? Depending on, like I say, the clarity and the, and the color. So I said, okay. So at the time, like I say, I just tried something and I didn't think it was gonna actually work. But I went, when I got the information, that probably the next week and a half or so, I just did research. I really did my homework and I learned basically how the jewelry game works. I taught myself basically, I used to be up to 3, 4 in the morning, literally on my phone. If you go on Google, you can pretty much find anything you just gotta know how to search for things. Mm-hmm. So what I did was I started researching jewelry stores, start researching who's in charge of these jewelry stores, the actual general managers or the owners, who makes the sales and the purchases. I go on their page, I go find out who's the boss. And I'm looking at these jewelry stores.
The Jews.
Yeah. I'm looking at these. Yeah,
right? They own a ton of them.
You're exactly right. And the thing about it is a lot of the Jews do run the jewelry industry And later on down the line, it was funny because they would get to speaking to me in their language just to see if I was who I was. And a lot of times I would hang up because I'm like, I can't impersonate this person because they get to speaking in Arabic and all these other languages that I'm not familiar with. But the Jews you are correct. A lot of them do run the jewelry industry.
Hebrew.
So, right, you're Hebrew, right.
Yeah,
so
not
they're
Arabic.
speaking, not Arabic, it's Hebrew.
Yeah.
You're exactly right. So they would get to speak to me in that language just to see, cross-reference, hold on, is this who he say he is?
Yeah.
So I did my research. And it took me a little while, like I say, and basically how the jewelry industry works is everything is basically like you said, they're Jews, so it's like a faith-based system, and it's also based on consignment. And a lot of the jewelry industry is very, very small. It's a lot of jewelers, but they're all familiar with each other. So basically, once you learn the language on how to talk to these distributors and manufacturers, they will give you whatever you want. But you have to actually know how to talk to these people without, sounding like you're not such and such. So what I learned how to do is, after I did my research, I researched the companies, then I would research the distributors and manufacturers that had these diamonds, these solitaire diamonds. And I would also, watches or things of that nature. Anything type of watch you can think of, Rolex, Petit, anything you can think of. You know what I'm saying? Any type of watch you can think of, I would try to find which one of these stores own these particular Rolex watches or Audemars watches or whatever it may be. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of times when I would take the time to actually do my research, I will look for the companies, like in my sense, I would say like the LeBron James of the industry. I want the big names because the big names have the credit to take on these consignment basically packages, and they have a reputable name with these people, to whereas if I was to say, hey, I need you to send me a 4-carat diamond, I have a customer coming in tomorrow, you're going to send it without any questions asked. And so, like I said, a lot of times when I would order these packages, I would know who I'm impersonating, and I would know what I'm looking for, and I would know exactly, like, hey, I would dress up a store. Hey, I got a customer coming in tomorrow. They're looking for a 3-4 carat engagement ring. What do you have available? Oh, who am I speaking with? Oh, this is such and such. So, and like, in a sense, I will always tell people, like, basically, if I call, like, let's say in the drug industry or whatnot, if I call your plug and I impersonate that I'm you, your plug like, hey, how you doing? What do you need? I can front it to you, like, well, send me this. Same address, yeah, send it to the same address, but it's not gonna make it to the address because I'm going to reroute this package. Or I might even tell you before you even send the package, hey, don't send it there, I got a new address. So send it here instead. But your plug or your manufacturer, your distributor has no idea that I'm not you. You know what I'm saying? Like I say, because at the end of the day, they deal with you, but a lot of stuff they deal with is through email. So they're not familiar with the voice on their phone. They're familiar with the name and the company or the representative for that company, but a lot of times, a lot of stuff is done through email. So when I call in, they basically, they're like, oh, this must be important because this is such and such actually calling on the phone. So that's what I would do. So I would call in and I would call these particular companies. And a lot of times, like I say, when I call the companies and they would send the actual package through the actual mail, I would reroute the package, whether it be to the abandoned apartment, or a lot of times this is what I started doing. I would get it sent to like a FedEx store or a UPS store. And through the FedEx store, the UPS store, I would actually have, I would make IDs. I would need an actual state ID, a government issued ID, and an employee ID. Because after a while, the apartments and abandoned houses, it was getting it was too hot. Like, I can't keep sending these packages there because at any given time, they could set up a sting operation and then one of my people end up getting, incarcerated or locked up for these packages. So what I started doing is I started sending it to like the FedEx or UPS locations. Like, let's say, for instance, you get a package sent to your house, right? And they leave the little tag on the door and say, sorry we missed you. You can pick up your package at this location. Those little hold locations, those little UPS stores or FedEx stores, I would call UPS or FedEx and say, hey, can you hold this package there? So I had them hold the package there. I would call in and call FedEx or UPS, have them hold the package there. And when I had them hold the package there, I would send one of my runners in there to actually pick the package up.
Does he give him his ID? Because he doesn't have a clue.
Everything's fake.
Oh, it's all
everything's
fake.
fake.
Okay.
Everything's fake.
I was gonna say if it's
Yeah.
a regular runner,
Nah,
like he doesn't know what's going on.
No, he don't know what he's going on.
But you still don't want him to bring it to your location,
Right.
Because when he gets questioned, he'll tell the cops, "Well, this
Right.
is where I brought it."
Right. So basically, he or she would go in there with the made up employee ID and the made up state ID. Go in there. I've already told FedEx and UPS, hey, this is such and such coming there to pick up the package. So once they show them, they need 2 forms of ID. Anytime you order something or you send something in the mail that's on a business address, you need 2 forms of ID. If it's residential, you just need state ID. But if it's a business address, you need 2 forms of ID. So they would need an employee ID saying they work for that company, and they would need a state ID saying, hey, I work, this is my actual identification. And they would go into the store and pick it up. So that's what I started actually doing because, like I said, a lot of times the abandoned, they would look up the address that I'm, trying to send it to.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it wasn't working. Like if I try to add this address to their account, they'll look it up and see, hey, this is an abandoned house.
Yeah, it's a residential
Right.
house.
And also it would take too long for me to reroute it because if I reroute a package, it might not get there the next day. They have to reroute it, so it might be there the next day after that. And by that time, the company might catch on. So I just started doing hold for pickups. So hold for pickups would basically allow me it'll come in that next day. It'll hold at the FedEx store or UPS location. I could pick it up that morning. Basically, it'll be available for pickup by like 8 o'clock that morning. You know what I'm saying? So, like I said, that worked for a while. It worked for a while. And this is between, like I said, the years of this is like early 2016. Like I said, I came home in 2015. This is early like 2016 when it really started starting to take off.
I'm assuming it's kind of like a trial and error in the beginning. Like you're calling these people. Like,
Right.
Did you have some like calls gone wrong where
I've had plenty of calls gone wrong. Like I said, like you say, they get to speak in Hebrew, and like I have no idea what you're saying.
Right.
And like I say, after a while, it was like I seen an article. It was like on one of the jewelry websites. They sent out an article almost like a mass email, like, "Hey, this is what's going on." And like I said, it's a small industry, and I don't know if you're familiar with jewelry, but it's a diamond district in New York.
Mm-hmm.
It's a diamond district in LA, and those are where majority of distributors and manufacturers that distribute these diamonds from. So it doesn't take long for them to say, "Hey, you need to be aware of these calls that are going around."
Right.
But by the time that they kind of caught on, I started switching up the jewelry stores. So I wouldn't say I'm calling from this store no more. I'm saying I'm calling from this store.
Yeah.
And I would just I just kept evolving with it. So it went from diamonds to watches to necklaces to where I just kept if I can't get a distributor for diamonds, I'm gonna try to find a watch dealer. Or if I can't find a watch dealer, I'm gonna try to find somebody that has rings. That's basically how it started. So, a lot of times, like I say, with diamonds, a lot of this stuff is what they call GIA or EGL certified. So a lot of these diamonds that I would get would be, they would be certified. And if you want to think I want people to know about diamonds is a lot of these diamonds just have a car has a VIN number. Diamond has an ID number, but you might not never notice because you might get the paperwork for it. But how they trace diamonds is laser inscribed on what they call the girdle of the diamond. And it's a GIA number, which is basically, GIA is a company that certifies diamonds. And you have EGL, that they certify diamonds. And they laser inscribe on the girdle of that diamond a particular number. And that's how they trace that.
Registered.
It's registered.
It's like a Rolex watch. It's got a...
Right.
So you can call up Rolex
Right.
and say, "Hey, who owns this Rolex
Right.
watch?" Or they go, "Oh, whoa, that's been stolen."
Right. So a lot of times, that's how, when I would sell the diamonds to the particular cash out, it's how he would know that these are certified diamonds. Without even putting diamond tester on there or anything, he's going to run that GIA, that EGL number that's on laser inscribed in that diamond. And once he runs that number, he's going to know, hey, this is a certified diamond. So a lot of times...
Doesn't he also know, hey, this is stolen?
It wouldn't come back stolen.
No, never?
Later on, it did.
Okay.
But
they don't even know it's been stolen for a while, right?
Because it's not registered in the system because it hasn't been bought yet.
Okay, well, I was going to say, and plus they have, like you said, they've got a certain period of time to pay them.
Right.
Or is it, if it's on consignment, it may not have been sold it may sit there for 18 months.
Exactly. It hasn't been, it's registered in the system as certified, but it doesn't have an owner's name attached to it. it's just basically it's just floating in the system. It like until somebody actually purchases it, it doesn't have a, you know what I'm saying? It doesn't have a name attached to it.
So these distributors, there's no red flags being raised to them.
No.
And immediately or 7 days, 30 days. Like
by that time I already got the diamond. I wouldn't even honestly know.
But you wouldn't. Yeah. Would you use different distributors, or would you use the same people?
I would use different distributors. Like it's probably like in the diamond industry, it's probably at least like 20 to 30 of them.
So the guy that your fence, the guy's buying them, he knows these are stolen, right?
No, he has no idea.
How does he have no idea? How long does this go on?
All right, so it went on for for a while. And I'm gonna tell you exactly how like my main cash out. What I would say that this is my main person who I was dealing with from the beginning, and he had no idea they were stolen. But one day I get a particular diamond, and he runs the numbers on it, and it comes back as showing that it's owned by somebody already. So I call him. I will always deal with like on a burner phone or a little throwaway phone or whatnot. And one day it comes back as like, hey, this diamond comes back. He said, I'm on the phone. Well, my friend's on the phone with him. He said, this is odd. He said, this diamond's coming back as registered to such and such. He's like, I know them. And let me give them a call and see why. Wait. Why is it coming back to such and such? I immediately hang up the phone. I tell him hang up the phone. We changed the phone number to the phone, and I lost my cash out. And this guy's literally paying he's paying top dollar. Like I say, he's paying I get a 3-carat diamond, he's paying me $15,000. I get a 4-carat, he's paying me $20,000. All cash, same day. And
at this point, what have you made?
At this point, I say probably close to probably $150, $250,000 at this particular time. I'm spending money so fast, I'm not even really keeping track of what I'm making, but I know I'm anywhere from the $150 to $250 range,
right.
$250,000, because like I say, I'm paying the runners. Like I say, my whole situation, the organization consists of a cash out, my ID person, the person that finds my runners, and the actual runner itself. So I have a small organization in a sense, but I'm not paying so much as far as for their actual runners and the person to find the runners. And like I say, my cash, I don't have to pay them anything. Later on down the line, I start having people that when they start seeing me making money, they want to invest into it. They would give me money just like, hey, can you flip my $1,500 or can you flip my $2,000? I just want to make some money. So I would take their money and I would use it for flights, or I would use it to buy to buy the IDs that were getting made. Because I would send people anywhere across the U.S. They could go to Charlotte, Virginia, Texas, L.A. These packages at one point in time, like I said, when they're getting picked up for the FedEx or UPS, they're going to that particular jewelry store, wherever state and city that's in. So I had to fly these people out to these particular cities and states for this UPS store or this FedEx location. It's being held in that particular city. So they will fly out, let's say today's Monday. They will fly out Monday night. The package is available for pickup Tuesday morning. I will fly them out basically early Tuesday morning. They will say for instance, let's say we use Charlotte as an example. They will fly out Tuesday morning. Early Tuesday morning. I need you there by at least 8 o'clock, no later than 9, because the package is available by 9 o'clock. Jewelry store opens at 10, but the package is available at 9. We have a small window, about an hour before the jewelry store opens up. Because when the jewelry store opens up, mind you, they can get a notification. FedEx or UPS can call them, hey, you have a package available for pickup here at our store. Can you send somebody to pick it up? So I got about 60 minutes to basically get this person inside this particular store, pick this package up before the jewelry store opens up at 10 o'clock a.m. When most jewelry stores open up at 10 a.m. I don't know why, but they always open at 10 a.m. This is across the country. So I will fly this person out. They will fly out, let's say, whatever, from Atlanta. It could go anywhere, Dallas, Charlotte, Virginia, New York, L.A., and they would pick the package up early that morning. If it was a far, far distance, I would try to get them out there the night before, put them in a hotel, and then have them pick up the package up that next morning. Mm-hmm. So that's what I had to start doing, because when the abandoned apartments, when I couldn't do stuff in Atlanta anymore, and it started getting too hot in Atlanta, and it was too much going on. I had to start flying people out. And I would send a package, like I said, to that particular store, but I would call FedEx in that particular evening when I ordered the package of that day, and I would tell them, hey, I need this help for pickup at your store location. So it'd be a FedEx store or UPS store. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Right.
Like, what kind of vehicles are you driving? Or what kind of, are you going on vacation? Are you
honestly,
just consumed by this
honestly
little money making machine? And,
honestly, I spent a lot of my times, like, I did music at the time, so I spent a lot of time investing to my music, going out to clubs. I vacation a lot. I invest into other people that were around me also. You know, like I say, I bought a studio. I had like 2 apartments. One I used to record at, one I was living at. You know, different just like women. I had a lot of things going on. You know what I'm saying? But honestly, me, myself, I bought a car for my child's mom, and I bought a car for my mom. And that was my 2 biggest investments that I made. When I came home from prison, my mom didn't have a car. So I bought her a car for Christmas, bought my child's mom a car. And I pretty much, like I say, spent a lot of money on, you know, jewelry, clothes. I was young at the time. Like I said, I'm in like mid to late 20s. I'm just pretty much just spending my money as it come. It wasn't until like later on down the line when I actually started to actually like take the time to like save money. But like I said, I took a lot of losses. I always speak about, like, it was a good side of it, but it was a lot of losses. People would run off. I would send people to go get a package, they run off. And
when you say run off, you mean they
run
land, off. They get 3 diamonds, and they're gone.
They're gone. So I'll give you like 3 situations.
Okay.
One of them, it was in Naples, Florida. Okay, so it was a situation.
A lot of money in Naples.
Yes, a lot of money in Naples. Right. So, and that's another thing. I always research neighborhoods that I know that is, you know what I'm saying, it has a lot of money or whatnot in that nature. So, it was in Naples, and I had a package that was ordered for down there in that location. It had a man's name attached to the package for who should be picking up. So I sent the girl down there to go pick up the package. When I sent the girl down there to pick up the package, they wouldn't give her the package because it had attention to a man's name. So they're like, she gets down there, she drives all the way from Atlanta to Naples. She gets down there, and they're like, hey, we can't give her the package. It's a man's name attached to the pickup person for this package. It was ordered up under a business name, but it says attention to Mr. Such and such. So they wouldn't get her the package. So I'm like, listen, I need to get this package because, like I said, it's been sitting down there probably like 2-3 days now, but it's still available for pickup. So I called one of my a friend of mine who was a friend at the time. I say, listen, I need somebody to go down here and get this package for me. It's all the way in Naples. I will even give you my car, what at the time was my ex-girlfriend's car. I will give you a car to go down there and pick the package up. I just need you to go down there and pick it up and bring it back. I'll even give you the keys to a vehicle. I just need you to go pick it up. Like, all right, cool. So I give him the keys to go down there and pick it up. He drives all the way from Atlanta to Naples, Florida. Mind you, he's in my ex-girlfriend's car. He drives all the way down there. He gets down there, picks the package up. Probably 10 minutes after picking the package up, he stopped answering the phone. Like, stop answering the phone.
Did he get arrested? I would think he might have got arrested.
No, he didn't get arrested. He basically leaves the car stranded. To this day, I don't know how he got away from Naples, like how he left, but he left the car down there. He tells my ex-girlfriend, hey, your car is parked here. I left the keys in the car. Or no, he didn't tell me he left the keys in the car. He just, basically, your car is parked here. Like, runs off with the actual diamond. Mind you, this is like a yellow diamond. It's like canary diamond. Like, if you know colors of diamonds, like, that's a very rare diamond. Mm-hmm. So he runs off with it, and I'm basically like, at this time, like, because I'm not a good manager, I'm not managing my money like I'm supposed to be. I'm really low. Like, I'm almost flat broke at this time. And it's really a bad time for me doing this because my license is suspended. Like, I'm in a down situation at this particular time. And he runs off, leaves the car down there. So in my mind, I'm like, listen, I have to go down here and get her car because her car is down here stranded. And I'm also almost broke, so I don't have any money. So I need to make some money. So I end up putting a move together for down there in that particular area So I'm gonna go get the car, but I'm gonna go down here and get some money too because I don't need to just be going down here for no reason. So I put a basically play together for in Miami. And you're familiar with Florida, like basically Naples and Miami on opposite sides. It's basically from left to right. So I said, I'm gonna go down here to Naples and get the car, but I'm gonna also go to Miami and see if I can make some money by putting this play together. So I fly down to Naples, fly all the way down to Naples. Mind you, my license is suspended. He leaves the location where the car is at. The car is like parked in like this grocery store, Publix parking lot, just by itself. I never forget, I was on the phone with my mom. I get in the car, I'm like, I don't even see the keys. My mom's like, listen, just calm down, just pray. Like, you'll find the keys, just look around. I grabbed like the little sun visor, the keys fall right in my hand. Like, okay, finally, like, I got the keys. Leaves the car on empty. There's no gas in the car. There's no gas in the car. I'm really, like I said, I don't even have the money to even really be getting the gas. So I finally get to the gas station, put the little bit of money I had in the car. This is at like 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock at night. I literally had a move that next morning in Miami. Had one of my friends flying down from Atlanta to Miami as well. So I drive from Naples, Florida to Miami overnight, basically from one side of Florida to the other side of Florida. Pick my friend up from the airport at Miami, at the airport, drive to the abandoned location, like meet the FedEx driver that morning, grab a dime and drive all the way back from Miami, all the way back up to Atlanta. I probably made like $15,000, but it was worth it though. You know what I'm saying? But I literally did it like overnight. You know what I'm saying? Like I say, so it's like I would have people, like I said, run off all the time. I would tell people, do not open a package. You don't get paid if you open a package, but people are curious, and a lot of times they see the name on the package. They would see something that say jewelers. Sometimes it would be discreet, but a lot of times it wouldn't, and they would just get curious and want to open a package. And next thing you know, they're not answering the phone.
One of my favorite. I have a buddy named Zach.
Yeah,
that I've interviewed a few times. One of my favorite is that he did check cashing.
Right.
And he and his wife are sitting in a vehicle one time. We're sitting there and they've got a guy. They got a fake ID. The guy's going to cash like 20 checks, and the checks are let's say there's $6,000. There's 20 of them. He's like, it's going to take us about 4 hours, but it's $6,000. He's getting $2,000 per check.
All right.
Now, I don't remember the exact numbers, but he's getting $2,000 a check. It's $6,000. They're going to make 4. He gets 2. They gave him a fake ID. We're driving him from place to place. But by the end of the day, this guy's going to have like 40 grand
sitting in his lap, right?
The very first check, he cashes it. He walks outside with $6,000, looks up. They're sitting there in the car like, get in the car. And he goes, and just takes off running. And he goes, he's taking off with our money. And his wife goes, run him over. He's like, I'm not running him over for $6,000. But it's like, he's like, that would happen all the time. He'd send guys off to do stuff.
Right.
He said they'd be good the first time sometimes. He said, and then the second time, he's like, they'd either fuck it up or they try and steal the money or
It's too much money.
Yeah.
It's too much money. Like, I learned that a lot of people can't be trusted when it comes to that type of money. So, like I said, I've had people, run off a lot of times, and it would always be when I feel like I want to be done with this whole situation and be like, hey, I want to be out the game. I don't really want to do this no more. I'm about to do this last little run, and I'm just gonna,
right.
I'm retired. I'm done with this. Somebody would run off. Somebody would run off.
Did you ever like somebody went somewhere and the guy got arrested?
Yeah.
But do they lead back to you? Like, do they know who you are?
So I'm gonna tell you this. So like I say, the feds started investigating probably in 2016. My investigation from 2016 to 2018. I had a situation in Charlotte where a girl went to go pick up a package, and when she went in there, she had an eerie feeling. She said she seen like a guy standing by the door who just kept watching her, and I was like, whoa, how do you feel about it? Like, use your better judgment. Like, do you feel like this is wrong? Like, she's like, I don't know. She's like, I went to the counter, I gave them the tracking number, but I was one number off. She said they couldn't find a package. So I threw him off because the guy at the front door just kept watching me. I said, if you have a bad feeling about it, just leave. She's like, nah, maybe I'm just being paranoid. Maybe I'm tripping. So I'm like, listen, if you got a bad feeling about this, just leave. It's like, nah, I think I'm just paranoid. I'm about to go back in there. So she goes back in there. She gives him the right tracking number, right? When she gives him the right tracking number, they tell her something like basically like, hey, it's not available for pickup no more, or it's been returned back. She comes out of the location. She gets in her car. She has somebody driving her around. They swarm the car. Like, police swarm the car. Mind you, this is, like I said, this is in Charlotte. So when she gets swarmed from the car, like, they basically swarm the car. They lock her up. They let the other 2 people go that's in the car. They lock her up. So when they lock her up, I basically, I paid for her to get an attorney or whatnot. And that didn't lead back to me. But later on down the line, she ended up being my co-defendant, because she was one of the few people that actually didn't tell when it came to my federal case. But they used that, the feds use multiple cases and to create one big investigation.
Yeah.
So they used that particular situation. Like I say, I didn't bond her out. She ended up getting a bond on her own, but I paid for her attorney. And it ended up linking like that particular case. Like, you got multiple similar cases that are going on throughout the U.S.
Yeah. This is an ongoing criminal enterprise, right? Yeah.
Right. So that kind of linked it to me. But I say one of the biggest things, like I say, I have people run off all the time. I had a person run off on me and they still told on me. So it was like, you ran off and stole and you still told.
All right.
But I had a particular situation where I was, it was in Virginia. And I never forget, I will always tell people, like, when you pull up to the FedEx, they will always get an Uber or a Lyft. And I will use that Uber and a Lyft with a stolen credit card. It would be linked to a dummy account.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was very meticulous and very, very strategic about how I did it because I didn't want a paper trail. This is my, I didn't been to prison 2 times already. I learned I would always study my discovery, like, to the T, to like, where did I go wrong? So I always know, like, every investigator will always tell me, like, you left a paper trail. You left a paper trail. Like,
Yeah.
you think you're gonna get away? You got a trail right here. So I started thinking to myself, like, how can I not leave a trail? I got fake IDs. You don't know who's going into this store. And then I will use an Uber or Lyft for my transportation, because if you go look up this Uber or Lyft account, it's to a fake account and it's to a stolen credit card.
Mm-hmm.
So I would tell people, though, do not pull up in front of the store. When an Uber or Lyft driver takes you to go pick up this package at the store, do not pull up in front of the store. Even though the account might be a fraudulent account, I don't want you pulling up in front of the store so I can get the license plate. I don't never want nobody pull up in the front of the store. Don't matter if you was, what kind of car he's in.
Yeah, you could always track it back to where they picked you up, which could be in your apartment complex.
Right.
They show your face to 4 people in the apartment complex. They go, oh, yeah, that's Jimmy. He lives over there.
Right. So a lot of times people will listen. But this particular day, I'll never forget, this girl was going to Virginia. And she was going to Virginia, and she had a layover flight. She was leaving from Atlanta, and she was going to Virginia. She had a layover flight in Charlotte. And I always tell people, be on time. I told you, like I was saying earlier, we have a small window from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. because that jewelry store opens at 10. So we got a small window. It's available to pick up at 9, but the jewelry store that we ordered this particular package on opens at 10. This could really hit the fan at any given time after 10 o'clock.
Right.
So we have a small window to get this package picked up. But if you get there on time, you get it in the Uber, go to the FedEx location or the UPS location, we can get this package, and you flying right back the same day. The same hour, I'm booking your flight. You're at the airport. But this particular girl, she missed her particular connecting flight in Charlotte. Now she's running behind. So now as she's running behind, she's, people don't think when they're rushing. So she's running behind. She missed her connecting flight from Charlotte to Virginia. And she gets to Virginia, and next thing you know, she's pulling up in the Uber right in front of the store. I always say, have the driver drop you off a little bit down the street. Mm-hmm. Take a little walk. Just have him wait for you. Like, hey, I got to go down the street right quick. Can you wait right here for me? A lot of times the drivers will wait. But she pulls up right in front of the store. Why you pull up in front of the store? I guess because you're rushing. You're not thinking clearly. She pulls up right in front of the store. When the store, she gets out the car, basically, and the camera captures the license plate. This particular day, one of my people that I had working with me, I always had him request the Uber or the the Lyft for the runner that's going to go pick the package. This day he couldn't access it. He couldn't authorize the Uber or the Lyft on his account. So I called another guy, one of my associates, and said, "Hey, listen, I need you to get this Uber or Lyft for me." She's basically stranded here. He's invested into this particular move as well. So I called him like, "Listen, can you get this Uber or this Lyft for her? She's stranded at the airport. She needs to get there." So he like, "Okay." So mind you, this is on his particular legitimate account. She goes and pulls up in front of the store. She gets a package. She flies all the way back. I pick her up back from the airport. I get the package, open the package. I'm like, okay, it's 2 diamonds here. I take the diamonds to a jeweler store. Come to find out these are cubic zirconium diamonds. They're not real.
She
They're
swapped them, or
no, she didn't swap them.
They gave them to her because they were tracking them.
They're tracking her. You feel me? I don't know this at the time. I just think like, okay, they probably caught on. They just gonna give her some dummy diamonds.
Yeah.
So I'm like, mind you, I didn't pay her like $4,000 just to do the situation. Like I didn't pay her on the front end because I see the diamonds. I'm like, oh, okay, here you go. I'm gonna go ahead and just pay you, get you out the way, so that way I don't have to deal with you, later on. So I pay her and the person that put me on to her. I gave him like $4,000. Like, here you go. So come to find out, I give my man the diamonds. Tell him to take it to the cash out. Cash out like, listen, these are not real. I don't know where you got these from, but these are not. I said, hey, it's no way. I'm in my mind, I'm like, it's no way these are fake. So I take them to a jewelry store myself, like, yeah, these are cubic zirconia. So I not only that I lost $4,000, but I done created a trail without me even knowing it. So this is when the feds get involved. Mind you, they've been investigating the situation for about a year now. This is like 2017. We're going on 2017. So it's like they tell me like, they get the information basically from the license plate. When they get the license plate from her pulling up in front of the store, they track that to the actual owner of the Lyft account or the Uber account. It was a Lyft account, I believe. And that's the guy who I had requested, Lyft for the particular girl that picked up the package that day.
Right.
They call him. They call him and say, "Hey, we're calling you, questioning you. This is the feds we're talking about. We're calling you, questioning you about this particular package. I mean, not a package, but this particular Uber or Lyft that you requested out in Virginia." Soon as he hears feds and hears like, we're calling you in regards to this Uber that you requested, he basically screams my name. Like, I have nothing to do with that. You need to talk to such and such. I had nothing to do with that. He screams my name. So I was like, who? So he gives him my name. That's the opening of the whole situation on how my case particularly started. It was already an ongoing investigation, but they had no particular suspects.
They're
or
still looking for you. They can't find you.
Right. They didn't know who I was. They just knew that this was an ongoing crime. And it originated, like it started basically in Atlanta. But they knew nothing about like who is behind it until this particular day. So when the Uber or Lyft account got linked to from the license plate got linked to him, he automatically gave him my name. So now they're looking into me. So when I said looking into me, they run down on the girl that picked the package that day. She doesn't really know me. I got put onto her through a friend of mine, but they show her a picture of me, and she like, yeah, this is a guy that picked me up from the airport. I don't know his name, but that's him. So now they got 2 people basically like IDing me, So at the time I was on probation. I get locked up. I remember I think I caught like a DUI or something at that time. So I was serving a probation violation for catching a DUI. So I get locked up at the probation office. I had no idea I was going to get locked up that day, but I got locked up at the probation office. My probation officer was like, hey, you didn't tell me anything about catching this DUI. I'm like, I'm out on bond for it. Like, I haven't been convicted of it, or you're still going to jail because you caught a new charge on probation. So I ended up going to jail, but while I'm in jail, I'm talking to my son's mother, and, she basically told me and Cole, like, hey, you do know, like, the feds have gotten involved with what you got going on. So I'm like, there's no way. You know what I'm saying? So come to find out later on that the guy who requested the Uber and Lyft, he started cooperating. I found that out when I was, like I say, in the county.
Right.
I get out, you know, a friend of mine basically tells me like, hey, you need to be careful. Such and such is cooperating. He gave him your information, gave him your name. He's cooperating. So immediately, like, I shut everything down. I got rid of all my phones, got cleaned up everything I had around my house at the time. I just, like, I went, like, basically, like, if I was a drug addict, I basically went cold turkey for a whole, like, 9 months. Like, 9 months. I didn't do anything. I didn't do anything. Like, I knew I was in an investigation. I would be, like, you know, paranoid, up late at night, just basically, like, I don't know when they're going to come. I know he's giving them that information. It's been verified, like, this guy is telling on you. He's basically cooperating. So
They still need something to connect you.
Right.
They need to find something that could just be some guy who picked a random name out of.
yeah.
And
But
he
they got-
obviously he knows the chick.
Right.
That maybe they decided together. This is something they're doing, and they're just blaming it on you.
Right.
They need to connect you somehow.
So at the end of the day, like, it was crazy because they got him and they got her, but they can't come get me yet. I don't know this though, but I learned this later on. Like you said, they still need more information. So like I said, I probably stopped for like 6 to 9 months. I went and got a job. I was very low key. I knew I was under investigation from people telling me, but I basically just stopped completely. Cause at the time I knew I was under investigation. So I told myself, like, I need to make myself look as legitimate as possible. Even though, you know, when the feds, one thing I learned is, like, when they want you, there's, like, nothing you could do. You could try to dress it up and make it look like you're, you know, a law-abiding citizen, but they don't care. If they want you, they gonna come get you. So I did that for probably, like, 6, 9 months. Just worked the job. And they finally, they never came. I used to always think, like, they're going to, because I'm going to, like the movies, they're going to come in the middle of the night. I'm going to be asleep. They're going to be banging out the door. I'm going to have to jump out the window, but they never came. So at the time, you know, I had a family, so I was thinking to myself, like, I don't want to leave, you know, my kids or the mother of my kids or my family out here without anything. I know I'm under investigation. Let me put some money up, some funds up, just in case if that day does come. So I decided to, like, get back into it. And I probably did it like 2-3 times. And I put enough money up, I say, to, like, you know, feel comfortable. Like, if that day does come, that I know they'll be good. You know what I'm saying? So I did probably like 2-3 moves. And I could say I was doing, you know, at the time I was doing music. I was, you know, in the music industry or whatnot. And I didn't necessarily want to take the money I had put up to invest in my music career and take away from my kids. So I said, you know what, let me bust one more move. Let me do one more play. And, you know, it's like, they always say, that's when you read a book, like, when you think it's your last time, it really is your last time. But your last time, you probably end up getting locked up. And, you know, this was one of them situations where, like, I really was like, I had money, but I didn't want to spend the money because, like I said, I knew it was an investigation. So I really want to put up what I have away for my kids, because if I do go away, at least they got something.
Right.
So I decided to do this one move. And to this day, I mean, it was a bad decision, but at the same time, I learned a lot from it. So I decided to do this move in Knoxville. Knoxville's probably like 3 hours from Atlanta. And I never go on moves. Like, I'm always the person, I told you, like, I would have runners, I would have people, you know, I always designated people to where it's like, you know, for one, what I'm doing requires, like, you know, to have a good face card. So if you're meeting a Cashapp, you don't mean, no offense, but, like, you don't want to have somebody come up with a whole bunch of tattoos and he talking about, like, he got diamonds for sale.
Right.
I would never be there when it comes to cashing out diamonds. I would never, like, be on the scene when it comes to picking up a diamond. I was just always behind the scenes. And I learned that that was best for me, because not only it kept, like, me from being in trouble, but a lot of people would stereotype if they see a person like me trying to complete these type of transactions.
Yeah, you want someone who looks clean cut.
Right. And every party that I would have pick up a diamond, I always would dress them accordingly. I would always, like, critique what they're wearing that morning to the T. Like, hey, I need you to dress like you're in this particular field of work. You know what I'm saying? Collar, shirt, or, you know, always casual dressing, but, you know, always to fit the business attire, because we're in a business where I would even get them like a little lanyard, like a little ID badge to look like I dress these people up, because you're going in here The person at this store doesn't necessarily know what you're coming to pick up, but I know what you're going to pick up, and what you got going to pick up is worth $20,000-$30,000. So I need you to dress the part. So this particular move or whatnot, the girl she was young, and she was nervous, and she was uncomfortable. So I said, listen, I'll go with you. I'll go with you. You know what I'm saying, went against my better judgment. I never do this. So, but it's 3 hours from Atlanta. I don't have to get on the plane. So I'll go with you, and you know, I'll make sure everything goes smoothly. So I go with her. So it's me, her, and 2 other people. We drive from Atlanta to Knoxville. The package is going to be available for pickup, basically, let's say Wednesday morning. We drive Tuesday night, get a hotel out there in Knoxville, and then, you know, Wednesday morning package is going to be available for pickup. I ordered it like Tuesday morning. So we go out there, stay in the hotel. Tuesday night, we're in the hotel or whatnot. Wednesday morning, we wake up. I send her and another girl in the Uber to pick up the package from the UPS, or I think it's a FedEx store or whatnot. And she had another girl go with her because she's like, I feel uncomfortable. Can she go with me? Like, I'm just nervous. I just want somebody to come with me. I'm like, all right, she can go with you. Like, I had no problem with that. So I get them an Uber, and I knew this day, like, it's so crazy. Like, when you're doing things, especially like in this particular like field, you always see signs. Like, you're gonna see something that's gonna tell you. Like me, I should always trust my intuition. The moment they got in the Uber to go pick up the actual package, I see a police car get behind them. But I see the police car get behind them, but in my mind, I'm like, you know, like your greed outweighs your common sense. So a lot of times you're thinking about the money, but you're not really thinking like, oh, this is not right. But I see the car get behind him, but he gets behind him and then he kind of like veers off. So in my mind, I'm like, why that police car just get behind him like that? But in my mind, I'm like, let me go get this money. Like, go ahead.
Yeah.
So they go to the location. When they get to the FedEx store location and where you can pick up the package at, I'm looking at I'll track the packages on my other phone, like online. You know, I can see everything. I would call the store if there was any problems. She gets to the location. They're telling her, like, it's already been picked up. How it's been picked up already, I've been sitting here watching it I've been refreshing my phone every 5 minutes. They're telling her it's already been picked up. It's not available for pickup anymore. I'm looking at my phone. It's not even saying that. So I'm like, how is it not available for pickup? And it was just available on my phone. And so she like, were they telling me I can't pick it up? Like, it's basically a no-go. All right, you know what? Don't even worry about it. I'm going to get your Uber back to, you know what I'm saying, basically back to the gas station where they got picked up from, and we're just going to go back on the road and go home. So my ex, who came with me at the time on this particular move, she was sleeping in bed. So I didn't have a license. So I wake her up. I'm like, listen, hey, wake up. We need to go pick them back up because, like, basically it didn't go right. So I need you to drive because my license was suspended at the time. So I wake her up. She's like, okay. I'm gonna get ready. So she gets up. We get in the car. The Uber drops it back off at the gas station where they got picked up originally from. So the 2 of them get back into the car. When they get back in the car, like, we're just gonna go back home. Like, basically it didn't work out. So we get in the car, we're about to pull off from the parking lot of the gas station, and all of a sudden it's just like a nightmare. It's like a big black Suburban just comes in and out of nowhere. So when it comes in out of nowhere, I had my head down. I was on my phone. My ex just screams like at the top of her lungs. I'm thinking like she about to get into an accident. I look up, it's like a big black Suburban just sitting in front of us. So I look up, I'm like, yo, why is this Suburban in our lane?
Right.
So I look up and I kind of look and I see like police lights in the windshield. So I'm like, oh no, that's the police. Like, that's 12. Like, I need to get up out of here. So immediately I open the door, I take off running. So I take off running. When I take off running, like, she gets out the car and she just screams at the top of her lungs. I'm like, I gotta go. So it's like a little cement wall right there, like right when I run out the car. I grab on top of the wall, try to climb the wall. Like, one of the officers trying to grab my leg. I shake off of him, get over the wall. I'm running like through this Waffle House parking lot. I never forget it was a Waffle House parking lot. So I'm running. One of my phones falls out my pocket. I get away though. I get away. So I get away. I run back to the hotel that we had been staying at previously that night before. So I get to the hotel. I always had a habit of like, when I'm in the car, like I put my phone in the seat because if I get out the car, my phone is in my lap, it will always fall and hit the ground. So my phone was in the actual seat. I left my phone in the seat. My other phone that I had was in my pocket. It fell out my pocket when I was running. I have no phone. I run back to the hotel. I get on the hotel phone. I call my child's mom. I'm like, listen, I need a Uber or Lyft immediately because I have no way to get up out of here and I'm stuck. Like, they just ran down us. It's like 6 cars deep, like all black Suburban, just from the front of the car to the back of the car. They basically took up the whole street. So she's like, hold on. She doesn't even have the app uploaded on her phone. She has to download the app. I'm sitting here waiting at the hotel. She finally downloads the app. When she downloads the app, she's like, okay, the driver's on the way. So I leave out the hotel room. I go look out the window. It's police cars everywhere. They didn't swarm the whole hotel. So I go back to the room. I'm like, listen, I can't go nowhere. She's like, I already know. I just talked to the Uber driver. She's like they basically telling me like, you can't, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's police everywhere. If you're gonna come, you need to hurry up. Like, hurry up. It's police everywhere. I said, listen, I can't make it to that car. Like, they're gonna see me if I get in that car. So basically, I tell her like, listen, I'm just gonna wait it out. I'm gonna try to wait it out. Maybe they'll, you know what I'm saying? 5 minutes later, no less than probably 5 minutes later, they're at the door.
Right.
They're at my door, like banging on the door. So I tell her like, listen, you know where I'm at. Once I make bond, like, come buy me out. Just use the money, like, make mine, right?
You're not getting bond.
Yeah, I'm not getting bond. It's not getting bond. It's not gonna be a bond. So I had a bond, but it was extremely high and had a probation hold. So it didn't even matter at the end of the day. So I go to open the door, like, cause I'm like, let me open the door because I don't want it to go left if they kick this door down. I open the door, I literally cracked the door, they kicked the door. I cracked the door a little bit, they kicked the door down, throw me on the ground, they put me in handcuffs. Next thing I know, like I said, we all go back to the precinct and you know, one of the officers, he's talking to me like, where's your phone? So I'm like, I don't know. He's like, well, it was 4 of y'all. It's 3 phones in the car that we already got. It's a 4th phone that nobody's on up to. I said, I don't know where my phone at. He said, well, I did see you running with a phone. I seen the phone fall out your pocket. Mind you, that's the phone that I do everything on. So I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about. So he's like, we need to go back to the Waffle House parking lot. We need to see if we can find this phone. So true enough, they go back to the Waffle House parking lot. They found the phone.
Are you kidding? Nobody in Waffle, you can't rely on anybody in Waffle House to pick up a fucking phone and sell it or throw it away or steal it?
They found the phone. So when they found the phone, they're like, you got anything you want to talk about? I said, no, I can't even talk to you without an attorney. So he's like, okay, all right, we'll sign this paper right here so you agree not to talk. So basically, I signed the paper. I go back to Knoxville County Jail. I sat there for probably about 2 months. I hired an attorney. When I hired an attorney, he's basically telling me, like, listen, you do know the feds is more than likely going to pick this case up. I don't know if you know already, but you're already in investigation. You're already under investigation. So 9 times out of 10, the feds are going to pick this case up. He said, best thing I can do for you is try to get this case thrown out in Knoxville, and that way you won't have to deal with this case after you finish with the feds.
So this wasn't the feds? This was the state
This is Knoxville County.
This is Tennessee.
Yeah, Tennessee.
Well, how was Tennessee even on you? They just caught the diamonds going in?
Nah, I tried them before previously, about a year out. So they kind of had, when they got whipped of what was going on, they basically alerted the authorities like, hey, somebody tried this about a year ago. I tried it about a year ago, and it would have went smoothly, but the person that had to go pick up the package was running late, and they never got there in time. So I tried it again about a year later, thinking that it might be, cool to do it. And they basically, once they got like wind of what was happening, they alerted the authorities, and they basically set up a whole sting operation for that day. You see what I'm saying? Right. So I went to court in Knoxville. I got a paid attorney. He basically got it thrown out. Like, he's like, listen, I'm going to talk to the prosecutor and investigators. If they want to proceed with this hearing today, we can. But you didn't take anything. You didn't do anything. The feds are going to pick your case up. So it's really no point of there's no point of them trying to because it's nothing. So that's exactly what he did. He got it thrown out that day. And literally, like, when he got it thrown out that day, like, the feds were, like, in booking, like, right here, like, hey,
Yeah, you're walking
Yeah.
out the front door and they're waiting for you.
right, exactly. So, I walked like they basically greeted me in booking. They took me to the federal courthouse. I got booked on like what they call as a criminal complaint. And a criminal complaint, if you know you're familiar with the federal
Yeah.
system, like they got 30 days to show if they got evidence for an indictment.
Yeah.
So within 30 days, like I got transferred basically all the way through from Tennessee to Atlanta. I went to like 2 or 3 different like facilities. And by that time, it was like, this is like September of 2018. So I got transferred to Atlanta probably in November. And when I got there, they had enough for an indictment.
Did they
And-
indict you or did you sign off on the criminal complaint?
Now I signed off on the criminal complaint, like basically saying like, hey, I got,
You
yeah.
I admit you have enough. You probably have. You
Yeah.
probably have enough.
Right.
Yeah, I'm not
But
gonna make
they-
you indict me. Just,
Right. But they ended up doing it anyway, like
Oh, okay.
within those 30 days. And I went to Lovejoy, which is in Atlanta. It's a whole different facility. And I was there for about a year. And during that time, as I was fighting my case, my first offer was 120 months. I told them, hell no, I'm not taking it. Like, there's no way I'm taking 120 months. So I took the time to kind of like, I went to the law library, started learning different things as far as like my case and what I could do in regards to like make it better for me. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So what I learned is like the financial loss amount that they accused me for, they didn't have evidence for the full amount. So I told my attorney let the prosecutor know, like, listen, y'all have evidence for this amount, but not for this actual amount that you're accusing him for. So they basically lowered me.
What were they accusing you of? What was
Okay, then my charge was basically interstate transportation of stolen property. Basically taking stolen property across state lines. So it was basically like, how did they word it? Like, yeah, interstate transportation of stolen property. Like, you're committing a crime, taking stolen property across state lines.
Right. But I mean, what
Right.
was the dollar amount attached to it?
1.6.
1.6 million.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
And
it
so
was-
you guys argued.
Yeah,
You were arguing for less.
Right. So basically, this is how it worked. It was 1.6. What was the attempt? The
Okay.
actual amount.
Potential loss.
Right. Yeah.
That's the-
right.
yeah, potential
Right.
loss.
That you feel
He
me?
could have made. He
Right.
could have.
Exactly. So that's what they grade you off of. You know. So, but the actual was like 600 and some thousand.
Right.
But 1.6 was the attempted loss.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, my first offer was 120 months, and I didn't agree to it. So once I showed them they didn't have evidence for that particular amount, they lowered me on the guidelines for the financial loss amount, and then they came back to me with 92 months, and I didn't want to agree to that. I was trying to get somewhere around 60 months, but I end up a lot of people are familiar with the federal system. I ended up getting a lot of enhancements. I had a leadership role enhancement, was 3 points.
Mm-hmm.
I had sophisticated means, which was 2 points, and I had 10 or more victims, which was 2 points.
Changing the jurisdiction to evade detection.
Nah,
You didn't get it.
I didn't get
You
that
were
one.
all over the place.
Yeah, I didn't get.
Definitely, I'd have
Right.
given him. I'd have
Right.
given you.
Right.
I'd have given you invading detection.
Right.
That's why
Yeah.
you're going to all these different places.
I got 7 points in enhancements.
Right.
And so,
It's nothing.
yeah.
It's nothing.
Yeah, well, it felt like something. Only one I didn't agree to was the leadership role, because leadership role basically saying, but this is what they saying. This is what they saying, right? That you basically control 2 or more people to go commit a crime, and you got more than half the proceeds. See, even though that they had 2 more people saying that I told them what to go do, but it's like, how do you prove that I got more than half the proceeds?
Right.
You have no proof or no evidence saying that I got more than half the proceeds.
And those people and the people involved don't have any idea what you were making.
Nah.
They just know they were making
Right,
1,000 or 500 bucks.
Right. So I tried to fight it at my sentencing hearing. They
Who was
were-
your judge?
Judge Ray?
Oh,
Judge Ray.
my
Yeah.
judge was Judge Batten.
Yeah, Judge Ray. He was new. My victim came to court. And it was crazy because he came to court. It was about to be done. I got up there, basically I wrote something. I spoke to the judge. My mom got up there, and
Did you say you were a good boy?
yeah,
He's
all
a
that
good
stuff.
boy.
Yeah.
He's a good boy.
Yeah. all that good stuff. So it was like at the end, he was about to sentence me, and then the prosecutor's like, hold on. One of the victims is on the way. He wants to say something, right? So I'm like, it's no way. Like, can we just recess for like 15, 20 minutes? This man drove all the way from Knoxville to be at my sentencing. He gets there. We took like a 15, 20-minute recess. He gets up there, and he makes me look like the worst person ever. And I never forget.
He didn't even meet you.
Yeah.
I never even met you.
Well, it was more or less like, he was basically like, I think he should get the maximum amount of time. He doesn't know how he's basically victimized me, and he's destroyed the reputation of my company and my business, and
That's an enhancement.
yeah. So
That could be an enhancement too, by the way.
Yeah.
I got an enhancement for using a oh no, you would have been okay because it was a court. This wasn't. I got an enhanced for using a charitable institution in furtherance of my crime. I was surveying homeless people by saying I worked for the Salvation Army, and
I've
even though I
never
was
heard
giving them money,
right.
which is not, you know how they have a paragraph explaining
Right.
what each enhancement, like here's an example.
All right.
Mine was, or the using a charitable institution
All right.
was like me going and getting money on behalf of, let's say, the Cancer Society, asking for you to donate to the cancer, then you get an enhancement. I was paying people.
You weren't getting money, you was
No.
giving money.
And so we said that to the judge, Your Honor, he wasn't, and he was paying people. He wasn't asking for money for the institution. He was paying people on behalf of it. Right. And he goes, I feel he soiled their name. And he said, so I'm going to let that enhancement. But yeah, it was charitable institution. Yours wasn't charitable institution. Yours was a business. So, okay. You're right. You don't deserve it.
Right.
You're good. You're good.
Yeah, so I ended up getting sentenced to 92 months. And
but is that all the guy said was?
I mean, he basically said that, like, he just really said he was traumatized. He said he couldn't sleep at night, and he just
fucking victims.
Yeah,
Jesus.
he just went to talking about how his family has to, like, have extra precautions when it comes to all this
Mailing off diamonds to people.
Yeah,
well, maybe
yeah,
you should.
Yeah, so he I really honestly think that maybe I probably could have got a little bit, like, one of my enhancements might have got taken off had he been not so, like, hard on his speech when he spoke at my sentencing.
Did you feel bad?
I felt a little bad, but it was more or less like my mom was there, my dad was there, and, like, it was more or less like I felt more bad for my family than his.
Yeah.
Because it's like my mom's sitting here crying, and it's just like, when you know how the federal system is, everything is in months. So when you hear it, it automatically is just like, you start doing the math, like, how many years is that? And it's just like, I told my attorney one thing, let's fight, and she got out there and told the opposite thing. Like, I told her before we sat down and talked, I said, this is how we're going to fight the leadership role. She said something totally different when she got up there. So it was just like, at the end of that, I accepted, you get it. I did accept the responsibility for my actions, you know what I'm saying? And I realized what I did. I learned a lot from it. I just felt like, at the end of the day, what in any operation or any type of thing that you're doing is illegal, somebody's liable to tell. And that's what I really, really learned. When that come to my case, it was 6 people that told on me. And asked me how many.
What about the code?
Huh? Asked me how many co-defendants I had.
6.
I had 1.
You had 1. What do you mean?
They didn't even get convicted of a crime because they told on me.
Okay.
So it's like, I asked my attorney one day. I said, how do I have 6 people telling on me, but nobody got charged with anything?
All right.
She's like, I don't know, but they're just, that's what they do.
Yeah.
Had 1 co-defendant. You know why I had 1 co-defendant? Because she didn't tell.
Mm.
And that's the one and she didn't tell. And I guess for her not cooperating, like, we're going to charge you too.
Yeah.
And I literally had 6 people telling me. And it's crazy because I ended up with 1 co-defendant. And none of those people, 6 people, ever got charged with anything. So Yeah, that's basically what I learned, and it's a lot of times I feel like I should have stopped ahead of time. I should have stopped ahead of time. I feel like that I started it was like a humbug. Like I didn't expect for this to spiral out the way it did, and when it did, it just kind of got just way out of hand. I didn't even think it was gonna go federal. Like the first time I seen my name like I didn't see my name, but I seen an article like I say on one of the jury websites, and when I seen it and it said FBI agent such and such is looking, I said, oh, this is federal, and that's what kind of like opened my eyes, like like how serious it was. But by that time, I was just too far in, honestly.
Where'd you end up going to prison?
I was in West Virginia. I was at FCI Beckley in the mountains in the middle of nowhere.
It
I
must have been
did,
beautiful.
yeah, I did. I did all my time up there. I was locked up.
Was it a
COVID
medium or
there.
a low?
It's FCI. It's a
Okay.
medium, and I did all my time up there. Literally, I would say it's hell on a mountain. You're literally stuck on and you're not on the mountain. You're in the middle of a mountain. They set a prison in the middle of the mountain, and that's just like it snows in May. Like I never like seen anything like that. But yeah, so that's why I did majority. I did basically 6 years. I got sentenced to 92 months. And I did 6 years.
Did you get halfway house or?
I did 6 years. I did RDAP.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. So RDAP saved me, honestly. I
See?
say,
People love people, right?
Yeah, I say shout out to RDAP because RDAP saved me. I probably would have been home like a year later had it not been for RDAP. Because RDAP, you get a year off your sentence. So it was it was an old school guy. He told me, like, listen, young blood, you're going to be good. Just take RDAP. I came back from sentencing. I was sick. I'm like, ain't no way I'm finna do all this time. So he's like, listen, just take RDAP and you'll be fine. I'm like, what is that? He's like, when you go and do your PSI, tell him you got a drug problem.
Yeah. Well, and you
Yeah.
had you had the DUIs too.
Right.
That was an easy.
Right.
I have a drug problem. I have an alcohol problem. That's
So-
just you're shooing.
So he's like, tell him you got a drug problem. I said, all right. And then, during that time, that's when they kind of like brought in the First Step Act. I never got the First Step Act. By the time that it actually kicked in for me, I was like at the end of my sentence. But, I took RDAP. Basically, it's a drug program. It's a drug treatment program. And if you finish to complete the program, you get a year off your sentence. So that kind of like helped me in the sense of getting, home a little earlier than I expected. So I took RDAP. Completed it. It was like literally hell because at where I was at in West Virginia at Beckley, like you're literally locked down all the time. We were locked down like all the time. Not even just for COVID, but it was just like anything. We're always locked down. Any type of situation, any type of incident, the first thing they want to go to is lockdown. So I was there. Majority, like I said, my whole bid. I left there, went to the halfway house in Atlanta. I did 4 months at the halfway house at Atlanta. And I was finally, this was in 2024. I left the halfway house in June. In June of 2024. And basically, like I say, since I've been home from the halfway house, I started me and my dad, we have an HVAC business, so we do HVAC work. We do a lot of HVAC and refrigeration. I also continue doing my music as well. That's something that I feel passionate about is doing my music. I was doing it before I went to prison. So like I say, basically, like, the feds they open your eyes a lot. They really make you want to actually legitimize like everything. And like I say, I don't feel like I learned my lesson when I was in the state. Like honestly, it was sweet. It was phones everywhere. It was, you could just hang out. And our state, what I'm saying, Georgia, like, it's not a place where you can actually learn from from your actions. But when I went to the feds and had a lot of time to sit down and be locked down, like, it really opened my eyes, especially being on lockdown. I was in the feds during COVID, so it was like, we was locked down all the time. And I took a lot of time to read. I took a lot of time to really, really just reflect on my actions. And it kind of like, it got my mind way, way better than where it's supposed to be.
Well,
what I'm saying?
and RDAP too.
Yeah.
I took RDAP.
Yeah, they got it at come. That's where I wanted to take it at. I wanted to come down here and take it, but they wouldn't let me. I can get my security down low enough.
Yeah, there's no way you go through RDAT without learning. Even if you're trying to fake your way through it, you're going to learn something.
Yeah, exactly. And that's exactly I tell everybody, like, because you gotta like participate. And even if you like in there not really want to be there, you're gonna pick up on something from just being in there every day.
You suffer from super optimism.
Yeah. Exactly. I think I can get away with anything. So that was one of my flaws. You're right. It was. I did struggle with it. I thought I could get away forever. Yeah.
Trying to think of what the other ones were. My wife took RDAP too, and she'll every once in a while she'll say something. She'll be like, "Oh, that's super optimism," or you're struggling with something. You're always like, you're struggling. You're struggling with such and such. And I'd be like, "Don't do that. Don't."
But that helps though. I learned a lot, like cognitive thinking. And how to.
You better do an RSA on that.
Yeah, RSA. Exactly what it is.
Is it insane being in there though?
It is.
After the first 2 months when you're using the vocabulary that they're using and everybody else is using.
What's RSA?
Rational self-analysis.
Yeah.
So it's the thing that you, Colby, do naturally that people with a criminal thinking errors don't do. Like most criminals react immediately, and where an average person they're instinctively do an RSA, which is they think through, like, if I react this way, this is what's going to happen. Here's a negative outcome. What if I react this way? There would be a positive, but if I react in a different way, what would be the outcome? And so you immediately do it. Criminals don't really typically think about the outcome. They think about, here's how I want to react. They're instinctively do it, and they're not even thinking about how. And they don't even think about an alternative. No, that guy said this, or I want that. I'm going to do this and this and this to get it. And they don't even think, what if it goes wrong? No, it's not going to go wrong. Yeah, but what if it does? No, it won't. Right. No, what if it does? What else could you do to get that in another way? What else could you do? Maybe not. Maybe you don't need that. But it's a quick way to. They actually have you write it down real quick. And if you do it long enough, like anything, it takes 2 weeks to build a habit.
Yeah.
If you do anything long enough, it becomes a habit, and you start to just do it, and you start to see these guys like change. Like it's almost a form of brainwashing, and it's frightening. Like you'll see guys go in there. It's frightening from the outside. If you're on the inside, you realize like. No, they're just getting these guys to think normally.
Right.
Like a normal, good, decent citizen should think. But you'll see some guys that'll go in there and they're faking their way through it, or they're still kind of douchebags. And then suddenly I always have this is the one that makes me think. I went in, and everybody's telling on each other. We had a guy, Pete, my buddy Pete, was there, and he wasn't in RDAP, right? So I used to make fun of RDAP.
Right.
And then even, of course, when I first got in, I'm making fun of it. And there was a guy that was there, I don't know, I'm going to say his name was David, we would make fun of RDAP.
Right.
And so we sit down one day to chow, me and David. Pete sits down, and he goes, "Hey, what's going on?" He said, "How's it going?" I said, "It's going all right." And he said, and I used to tell Pete all the time, like, don't joke around about RDAP, bro, because these guys will tell on you. If I start laughing with you about it, they'll fucking turn on me. Right. I'll be standing up in the morning meeting the next morning.
Exactly.
And they'll pull you up, pull you up.
Pull-ups.
Yeah. And I sat down with David, and we're sitting there, and he's like, "Hey, man, what's going on?" He said, "How you doing?" He said, "How's RDAP?" I go, "Oh, it's good." I said, "It's fine. And he goes, "Hey, David," he said, "How you doing?" He's like, "Got you brainwashed yet?" Like that. He's joking around, but I told him to stop it.
Right.
And David goes, "No, you know what?" He goes, "They got me thinking right." And he got up and picked his fucking food up and went to another table and sat down. I go, "What the fuck are you doing? I'm going to be in the morning meeting tomorrow. He's going to pull up. He's going to pull me up tomorrow." He says, "You didn't say anything." I said, "It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I'm sitting with you. I can be sitting with people that are outside the unit that are fucking joking around about you know what I'm saying?" Then it'll be like, Mr. Cox, your peers. You're choosing the wrong peers. I understand that David got up and went to the other, or Mr. Johnson, or whatever his last name. They have to call it your last name, right? Cox Johnson. Right. Mr. Johnson got up and left, but you sat there and ate the entire meal with your friend, and you're just like, You know, they'll pull you up. I saw guys get pulled up for fucking bringing salt into the chow hall because we weren't allowed to bring in anything in the chow hall, and that's contraband. And why are you bringing salt in the next thing you know?
You can have some mayonnaise. They'll try to pull you up.
Next thing you know, some guy's standing up and they're two guys are fucking giving him shit. And then he's like, what's going on? And you're sitting there watching this whole thing. And then the next thing you know, that guy's going, they're like, well, wait a minute. Who else? Where were you? I was just sitting down with Mr. Johnson and Mr. Thomas. Well, Mr. Johnson's your big brother. And Mr. Thomas is he's completed the program. Mr. Johnson, stand up. Mr. Thomas, stand up. Why didn't you bring this up? Why is Mr. So-and-so going?
Now you gotta hold them accountable.
And I'm sitting there going, man, we got fucking 4 guys standing up right now over condiments. You brought a fucking condiment into the chow hall. What's happening? Like that was like the first day I was there. I was like, and these guys are terrified. They're about to lose a year. I mean, they didn't, but they could, depending if they've been brought up other times. And I'm thinking, this motherfucker is about to have to do another year in prison because he brought in salt to the fucking chow hall.
Nah,
that's insane.
That's dead ass serious though.
Yeah,
it's dead for real. And they don't play in RDAP at all because they hold that year over your head. They know if you don't cooperate, your ass is gonna get up out of there.
Yeah, and you can't. Yeah, and if you sit there and say, oh well, I'm just gonna kind of ride it out, then it's you're not participating. You're not taking this seriously,
and they're gonna kick you out.
Yeah. Like, fuck, I didn't even say anything. I didn't even do anything. But yeah, you're not participating. You're not.
You gotta participate. Yeah.
And then people do the fake pull-ups, right? They fake pull up somebody.
Yeah, I did those all the time.
But they'll figure that out. It's terrifying, bro. It's just, some of these guys are terrified.
Yeah. But I mean, it's part of the process. If you want to get home.
No, listen. I said like a couple days ago. I did one, and I said, listen, I don't think anybody should leave prison without passing not RDAP.
Right.
Well, let's face it, it's not really about drugs. It's about criminal thinking.
Right.
But I don't think anybody should leave without passing because I'll bet you the recidivism rate would drop dramatically.
Right. If you took RDAP.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At least you leave humble, you know? And I think leaving prison humble really helps you reintegrate into society because you're not going out with this, this huge, ridiculous, oh, I'm gonna start a car lot, or I'm gonna start a restaurant, or I'm gonna, you can want that, but they kind of give you a plan. Start here, do this, then be reasonable with your thinking, because otherwise you go out thinking I'm gonna go out and I'm gonna go do this, and you fail. Next thing you know, you're selling drugs again. Right. You're robbing banks. If you go out humble and appreciative, you're building from a better place.
Right.
I think.
Yeah, that is true. Cause I know I didn't learn nothing my other 2 times. Not until I went to RDAP.
Hey, you guys, I appreciate you watching. Do me a favor, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell so you get notified of videos just like this. Also, we are going to leave all of Cory's social media links in the description box. His Instagram is moolah_FNF. He's got his music on Instagram, but he also has TikTok. Also, if you're interested in being a guest, we're going to leave a link to our website where you can go to the guest page and you can fill out an application and you can leave a short video and we will get in touch with you. I appreciate it. Thank you very much. See ya.